We're still troubleshooting with going live on YouTube in 2020, and here we are still not actually thinking that this is working, but we will see. Doing a little test here, so bear with me if you're listening to me just ramble here. It sounds stupid on YouTube live. Oh, I'm actually live. Here we go. Wow.
Still.
All right, it's actually working. What's up, guys? Welcome to the 1% Engineer Show live stream. We have some great stuff coming at you now. 48 minutes late, no big deal, but that's how we roll around here. I hate that feeling. I hate that feeling when you've told people you're about to do something. It's kind of like you're expected to be there to class, or you have a group meeting for your engineering team or whatever, and you're late. And it's kind of like you're stuck in traffic and your phone is dead, and you want to let people know that, hey, oh man, something has gone wrong, this is horrible, and you just have this adrenaline build and your cortisol, your stress hormone is accumulating, and it's just such a bad feeling. I probably did 30 live streams 2 years ago when I actually started this channel, and this stuff used to happen all the time. And you make an announcement, something that's supposed to go live. This is why going live is so hard for people, because you can't control the situation. If something goes awry, it's a big problem. So I want to see what's up, Carnal. Go ahead and if you're in the chat, there's only a couple people here because I'm late. I'm sure people have been trying to join for like an hour, but go ahead and drop what's up in the chat, and I would love to get to some of your specific questions. I have a little bit of agenda here tonight. I have 5 tips that you can be doing here during COVID-19. But if you have questions about major choice, if you have questions about some sort of uncertainty or struggle or something in your engineering research right now, trying to choose a major right now, trying to figure out something in a project right now, then drop it in the chat and we can talk about that. So this is so funny because I randomly went live, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 days ago. I think it was like 5, 6 days ago, and I had up to 50 people in the chat. So this will be it took a while to get there, maybe like 30, 40 minutes. So we will see. Go ahead, if you're just dropping in the chat, go ahead and say hi, and drop a question if you have it. But basically, what I'm talking about, guys, is I cannot imagine what it is like to be an engineering student during COVID-19. How do you progress your career? How do you actually make sure that you are staying competitive in this landscape where each and every year there's more and more engineers, and you want to make sure that you are one that ends up with that internship, with that research position for grad school, with that full-time job opportunity after college. So you need to stay galvanized. You need to maintain your progression with your skills, with your network, with all of the things that you need to be working on in order to make yourself set up for victory. So don't see any specific questions in here, guys. So what's up? So we've got 9, 10 people here. Drop a question in the chat. Let me know where you're from, what type of engineering you're interested in, and I can get to some of that later. But the first thing, guys, that you can be doing right now, tip number 1, I have 5 tips for COVID-19 for engineering students to actually be doing things. I just made a full video about this tonight, but the biggest thing you can do right now is build better relationships with your professors. I think this is actually easier than ever before because all of these professors are doing all of their research, all of their lecturing, all of their professional duties from home, and all of our meetings right now. I'm sitting over here doing everything from here, from the store, from the office. Everyone is just doing things remotely. So I believe students or professors actually have more time to meet with people like you and have more ability and more flexibility to help people out and provide additional one-on-one time and just be there for students like you. Whether you're a senior in high school and you're trying to figure out the right engineering major for you, or you're someone who actually has been around for a couple years, you're an active college engineering student, you're an active university engineering student, and you have more questions, you have more things that you need to figure out. The professors that you have in front of you are your biggest resource, your biggest outlet to opportunities later. Guys, I'm not seeing much activity in the chat, so say what's up and tell me what type of engineering you are interested in, where you're from, that sort of thing. I'm seeing basically no activity there. I don't know who I'm talking to. I got a Facebook group with almost 2,000 engineers. Are you guys a part of 1% Nation already, or are you just randomly joining us? So again, I just made this full video about how to build better relationships with professors and 5 things that happened to me during my civil engineering university experience that changed my life forever. Imagine how professors are figuring things out in a way that they've never thought of before. What's up, Andy? Thanks for the question. I'll get to that in 1 second. Imagine if you're an engineering professor and now you have to do everything remotely. You have to do everything differently. You may be in a situation where you want more help than ever before. What if you were one of the students to reach out and just say, hey, what do you need? How can I support you? How can I get more involved? How can I make your life a little less challenging, because everyone is faced with unique, new, and different challenges here in 2020 during this COVID-19 pandemic. Again, in the video that I recorded today, that is going to come out in probably 2-3 days, I had 5 different strategies and 5 different unique life events that happened to me that I wouldn't have done otherwise if I hadn't have had these relationships with professors. So guys, if you're just joining, Andy, thanks so much for the question. Let me know what type of engineering you're interested in, taking specific questions tonight here, and where you're from. Let me know if you've been around for a while, how you found this. Andy, I'm gonna get right back into my agenda. I want to get into your question. You're a mechanical engineer from Los Angeles. That's fantastic. My most performing video on this channel is what do mechanical engineers do. So make sure you check that out. And also, just here today, that's the next video that's going to come out. I made a video with 5 specific mechanical engineering job types, fun, interesting options and avenues that you can take in your mechanical engineering journey, and I can't wait to release that. So let me know if you are interested in that, and Andy, can't wait for you to see that. Rita Man, thank you so much. Conrad, thank you so much for stopping by the chat and getting to your questions right now, guys. Civil engineering, 2nd year in Oman, awesome so far. Okay, so for me in civil engineering, it got more challenging around sophomore year, junior year. You start to get into dynamics, you start to get into fluid mechanics, Calc 2, I had to retake Calc 2. Computer science type courses get a little wild. I could avoid physics too, but usually sophomore year. If you can survive sophomore year, then you made it. I almost didn't get through my 3rd semester, so fall semester of sophomore year, without failure, but because I made it through that 3rd semester, there was no way I was looking back. Rita Man, or Conrad, are you planning on making videos about entrepreneurship? Yeah, so I've talked for about a year, so let's back up. So 3 years ago I started this channel, all right? For an entire year, I made 100 engineering videos, and it was great. And then I quit my job, and because I had been building momentum for 5 years to freelance and build brands and build businesses and build income so I could follow my dreams, I actually left corporate engineering behind. And when that happened, I made the announcement about 2 years ago that I have to pause on YouTube. And since, it's been really good. I've become a part of this startup, Nerd It Now, and we started another business, Speaker Angel, which is totally dead during COVID-19, which has provided some additional time for me to get back to YouTube. Okay, but I talked a lot about making entrepreneurship Shark Tank. We were on Shark Tank last fall, and public speaking type videos, because we had another business that the second business, not this one, not Nerd It Now, was public speaking for C-suite executives. I was conflicted on what to do with this channel, and I made 2 non-engineering videos, and that experience just made me come right back to the 1% Engineer Show. So I'm back. Yeah, I would love to talk about tech AI programming. You let me know, Conrad, what type of video you think is the one that you would like to see the most. And Jeffrey, hello. He says, I'm going into mechanical engineering in Washington. Fantastic. There's a lot of great schools out west. What type of mechanical engineer, guys? What questions do you have? If you have anything like this, drop it in the chat and I can get into that. So as we move on, as we wait for more questions, going to get into the regular scheduled agenda for tonight, the top 5 tips for engineering students in 2020 during COVID-19. Again, just as a recap, if you're just joining the chat, we talked about how vital professor relationships are. We talked about some examples, or I started to allude to examples as to how my life, how my career changed forever because of professor examples. This was a video that I recorded tonight, and if I go back into that video script to remind me, here are the 5 things. What's up, Kyle? What's up, Sub-Zero? Thanks for stopping by. Sub-Zero, let me know what your question is. Kyle Randall, let me know if you have a question. But for example, because of an additional professor relationship, I was able to do undergraduate research that helped me get into grad school, that gave me experience and income during school. I was able to be a grader because I spent more time communicating my passion to a professor. I was able to I got an internship with the federal government, with Federal Highway Administration, just because I went to office hours with Dr. Rusty Lee. I was able to get into grad school because I had serious meetings and emotional goal-setting conversations with a professor who picked up the phone and literally got me into grad school based on a relationship, not on my grades, not on my qualifications. So it was, and finally, I had such a good relationship with the Dean of Civil Engineering that I even missed a class. I was 3 credits short. I took the wrong class. I messed up big time and took a criminal justice class in sophomore year that didn't count, didn't qualify towards a civil engineering major, and the Dean of Civil Engineering let me slide because he knew I was representing the university well. I was going to go on to grad school after undergrad and make Delaware proud. And because of these relationships, I was able to do all of the things that you see me up to today. So please do your best right now, guys. During COVID-19, email your professors, message your professors. I guarantee you can get a one-on-one 15-minute meeting to pick their brain about your struggles in the class or what you should be doing for the future and interest within your engineering career. Whatever your challenges and struggles and questions may be, your professors are there for you during 2020, even during this pandemic. So reach out to them. Okay. Tip number 2. And it's a little bit similar. Let me get into the questions here. What's up again, Sub-Zero, Kyle, and Conrad. Sub-Zero, if you have a question, drop it in the chat. I'm trying to get this chat up to what I experienced last week. Maybe Sunday is not the time to go live, but I had like 50 people in here, so I haven't gotten anywhere close to that tonight. It's going to keep going. Kyle says, hey, Jake, going into the summer, I want to do some fun mechanical engineering projects. Any suggestions? Great question, because we're about to talk about that for the live stream agenda. Conrad says, what made you leave corporate engineering in the first place? Wow. What a great question. I think we will talk about this. Mega MW, best software to learn, best software to achieve what? What are you trying to figure out? Where are you headed in your technical engineering and STEM career? What softwares, like there's a million softwares. So let me know, Mega, and we can talk about that. Okay, so Conrad, my entire life, I was planning on being a civil engineer. My father's a carpenter. He was in the construction industry. He repaired buildings. So I was kind of primed to be a civil engineer. I played with Legos. I played SimCity. The goal and the vision was to become a civil engineer since I was like 13 or 14, okay? And so that became true. And then I was not planning to go to grad school, but when I was about to graduate in the spring of 2019, the housing bubble burst. That was the last recession before this one. And if you could beg, borrow, or steal your way into grad school, that's what engineers did. And so that's what I did. Instead of trying to battle through the job market, I went to grad school. And in the middle of grad school, through that experience, I kind of realized that I was in the wrong place and I had gone down this technical avenue that was not the right fit for me. We talk about that a lot in the video that's about to come out, which is figuring out the right engineering career for you, figuring out your engineering passion. And I knew right away that engineering research wasn't for me, which was fine. Okay, and then wrapped up the graduate experience, got my first job in Chicago in 2012, and I'll never forget, guys, 6 months into that engineering career, I knew I was in the wrong place. I was isolated to a cubicle. I just wasn't in the right work environment for me. And so what I did to make myself feel good and feel like I'm progressing in my life was I would invest my time at work in other projects. I was literally spending work time working on other things, right? I was working on this music brand. I was making mixes and making music and literally messing around with FL Studio and virtual DJ and just messing around with things that excited me and I was passionate about and just kind of creating, but I wasn't feeling that enthusiasm in my engineering career. Okay, and then you continue through 3 to 5 years of that, actually like 5 years of that, and I just moved on to the next project and the next project, and the people that I was excited to talk to were the same people working on these projects, whether it be for their own business or an organization that really believed in their passions and their interests. I just was gravitated to people who are basically like forging their own life and working on what they want to work on and making themselves happy and just creating and doing and seeking happiness is what we're really talking about. And I didn't have that within my career. And I looked for it. I worked for one company for 5 years. We switched hands. We were bought out. I ended up working on the West Coast. And I tried my hardest to answer your question, Conrad. I really did try my hardest to create a hybrid position for me where I could explore and I could go out and pitch different client projects, and something that was a good combination of my skills, my interests, and my passions that would all come together in a nice triangle that helped the companies that I worked for. And nobody really wanted to work with me on this, and so I left and created my own income and my own businesses in order to basically be happy in life. I left a $85,000 engineering salary behind to basically pursue my dreams and follow my passions. And if you look at a lot of startup companies, if you look at a lot of technologies that you follow or you use today, there's almost always two people who created that technology, who created that company, and almost always one of those people is an engineer. Get back to some of these questions here, guys. Mega, to answer your question, you need to be learning SolidWorks. As a mechanical engineer, SolidWorks is the software to learn. Sub-Zero, what electives are engineering students supposed to take? What electives were you supposed to take in place of criminal justice? Great question. So engineering, the College of Engineering at a lot of universities is subjected to additional requirements than a lot of other colleges within that university. For example, the math classes that I had to take were not the same math classes that the business college had to take, okay? The total amount of credits that I was required to achieve within the College of Engineering was more than every other college within the university. I think there was 8 colleges or something like that. So the rules weren't the same. The electives that you were allowed to take weren't all the same. Certain easy electives or certain perceivably, qualitatively less challenging electives were not eligible for any civil engineering or lots of other engineering degrees. So I just didn't follow the rules. And to answer your actual question, which is what electives are you supposed to take? You're supposed to take more technical. You're supposed to take electives that are more niche, that you believe are taking you in the direction that you want to go in your career. For example, I was a civil engineer and I could sense that I was headed in the transportation, the traffic direction. And so the electives that I ended up taking my junior and senior year were in this direction, were in this avenue. Okay. And so these courses, this specificity within my interests and within my academic career allowed me to stand out on my resume when applying to internships, when applying to opportunities for grad school, and ultimately when applying to full-time positions. I was able to align my electives with what I wanted in my career. Does that make sense, Sub-Zero? Let me know, with that being said, what you believe your focus would be and what type of electives you would want to take. Iman, thank you so much. Guys, if you were just joining the chat, thank you so much. Drop in the comments below, smash that like button if you're getting value here. I only have 1 like with this live stream so far. Come on, guys. Need some likes. If you're getting value, if you are getting pieces of valuable information, go ahead and hit that like button, because that's the only way that this live stream is going to bump up in the news feed for other engineers so far. Let me know what type of engineering you are interested in and what you're trying to figure out right now. What is your biggest question? Any tips for an engineer, first year student going into engineering this fall? That's what this live stream is all about. I think you should be emailing your professors, and I have 4 more tips that you are going to be able to figure out for the rest of the year. Just keep listening to the live stream. Sub-Zero, what types of engineering do you recommend for people who don't want to be stuck at the desk all day long? Great question. Okay, so what you need to be looking at is, first of all, what are you interested in? Because, for example, if you're a civil engineer that doesn't want to be stuck at the desk all day long, then you want to look into construction management and the construction trades, which make just as much money, if not more money, than a lot of the other avenues. You're not a construction worker. You're not banging hammers. You just might be on site a little bit more. You might be able to see what the actual company is building, and you might be able to actually get your hands dirty if you want to. Other applications are electronic engineers, electrical engineers who are actually on the design end of things. Some electrical engineers are more developers, and they're on the sort of instrumental and control side of engineering and may not actually make a new design. Mechatronics engineers is very, very good right now. So these are avenues that I think are a decent fit for you. Rita Man says, is a bachelor's degree in civil engineering good enough for finding a stable job? Absolutely, guys. Okay, this is a big misconception. I need to make a video about this. You do not need a master's degree in engineering. You do not need an MBA in engineering, especially today when fewer and fewer people are actually getting that 4-year degree. You have more people who are just going into a technical job. You have more people who are just getting a 2-year assembly. You have more people who are actually just doing a boot camp or some sort of accelerator that gives them the qualifications, or I should say gives them the experience to do a job, but they don't have the qualifications to compete with you if you're going to be a 4-year engineer, okay? So there's plenty of opportunities with just a 4-year degree in civil engineering. And to be honest with you, for all engineerings, you really don't need a master's. The only real way that a master's degree in engineering helps you is this, okay? If you're going to be a technical expert, it helps you galvanize and intensify your technical expertise and be even more of a technical thought leader for that route. And if you want to be a leader, if you want to be a CEO one day, then if you get your MBA, if you get your master's in business administration, this will give you a big advantage if you're going into the management and the leadership type of avenue for your career. Okay? Doing some shout outs here, guys. Drop it in the chat what type of engineer you want to become and what your biggest challenge is. If you are getting some value from this chat, go ahead and hit the like button. Thanks so much for the 10 of you who have hit it so far. And I'm so appreciative of you with that down like button. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. When I asked for some likes, somebody hit the down button. You can get out of here. You're not going to be a 1% engineer. So let's see here. Hey, Jake, friend from Brazil. Thank you so much. Eduardo. I remember you, Eduardo. We've talked on Facebook quite a bit. Nice to see you again. Really happy to see you on the channel. What are you up to now? I remember you were hunting down your first internship. I think you were given an opportunity to actually get some engineering experience. So let me know how that's been. Give me the 2-year update. JP Pitbull, 12-year-old, wanting to be an engineer, and engineering content is a part of your YouTube experience in 2020. That's fantastic. What is your biggest question so far, JP? JB, want to help you out with that. Tips for internships. What do you mean? How to get internships? Guys, I want specific questions, Mega. Specific questions. Because this channel is not just for student advice. This channel is just not for engineering advice. It's for engineering student advice, and mostly about picking the right major and about having a successful, killer, rise to the top 1% of your career. So I need you to have specific questions, guys. How important, Jeffrey Henn, how important is grad school if the end goal is for mechanical engineering for a place such as SpaceX? Okay, great question. So even though I just said, guys, that you don't need a master's degree in order to be successful as an engineer, the mechanical and aerospace engineer synergy is one example where that may be an option for you. Okay, let's walk through some hypotheticals. I just made a video tonight about jobs for mechanical engineers where I talk about aerospace engineering being technically a subset of mechanical engineering. I get so many questions that are in the realm of, can mechanical engineers become aerospace engineers? And the option is yes. Okay, it all just depends on how you align your internships and how you align your technical electives. And say you went to a school that gave you good funding, and maybe it was in state, and maybe it was the best type of opportunity for you to choose a mechanical engineering degree, but they didn't have an aerospace engineering program. Or say you weren't sure if you wanted to be an aerospace engineer, but you chose mechanical engineering, and then in your junior year, you took an aerospace engineering course and you fell in love with it. Or you got an internship there and you fell in love with it, okay? It is okay to not have an aerospace engineering degree and get a job in aerospace engineering. And you have this 4-year degree within mechanical engineering, but say you want to learn even more. Say you want to be a true thought leader. Say you want to be even more competitive versus other aerospace engineering undergraduate majors or mechanical engineers who have specialized in aerospace engineer. I think a decent option, if you can get the funding for it, if you can do it for free like I did, I didn't pay a dime for grad school, guys, they paid for everything, is to get your undergraduate in mechanical engineering and then get your graduate degree in aerospace engineering. If that can be paid for, if you have an opportunity to be a teacher's assistant or a research assistant, which is what I did. I wrote papers and I did research for the university in exchange, and with a salary in exchange for free tuition. This is what a lot of engineering grad students do. That is one option where you can see that medley, okay? Getting an undergraduate in mechanical and then a grad degree in aerospace, but you don't need it. You don't need it. You can get an aerospace degree with just mechanical, and you can have a great aerospace career with just an aerospace undergraduate major. But you have all these different options, guys. Keep dropping your questions in the chat. 21 of you watching right now. If you're getting value from this, hit the like button, guys. It helps other engineers find this live stream on YouTube right now. I got started like 35 minutes late because I couldn't figure out some of this text. So sorry. So I really want to make sure you guys are hitting this like button, and I really want to make sure I get as many engineers in here as possible to give them value, okay? So getting down to some shout outs here. Lola, thanks so much for being in the chat. Danny, thank you. Yesa, thank you. Josh, Yesa. Daft Tracks, Yesa. Okay, Lola says, hey Jake, any tips for current software I should be learning for chemical engineering? I have no idea. I'm sorry about that, but I don't know that much about chemical engineering. Here's what I can say to you. Chemical engineering is an option for you if you absolutely love chemistry. If you are that passionate about chemistry and you want to be an engineer, you want to design things, you want to make things, you want to develop things, then chemical engineering is for you. But let me tell you this, chemical engineering doesn't have the greatest future, okay? With the sustainability and natural attraction around non-chemical engineering, let's not use chemicals, let's figure out a natural way to create the solution, guys. There's been less interest in chemical. A huge aspect around chemical engineering is also the petroleum industry. Petrochemicals, plastics. Plastic is made from oil. Oil comes from petroleum, and petroleum engineers work on plastics, petroleum, and oil. And it's just not a great sector. It's just not a great future, guys. So I really don't have any advice for you about forging ahead with your chemical engineering degree. I will most likely make a video about chemical engineering one day, but I really don't think you guys should be focusing on it. Again, if you are absolutely passionate about chemistry and you are essentially choosing between a chemistry major and a chemical engineering major, do the chemical engineering major, because you can't really get a job with a chemistry degree, but you can with a chemical engineering degree. So only then would I suggest that you be researching and trying to figure out things around chemical engineering, because we talked about different softwares for that. And DAFTRAX, I basically answered your question off of Lola's question, so thank you so much. Yisa says, any tips on what to learn the summer before freshman year in college? What I think you need to do is go check out my video, guys, that is about the top 10 tips. It's got a green thumbnail for engineering students. You just need to get yourself ready for the college ecosystem. You need to prepare yourself to become a part of this behavioral, habitual machine and figure out what to do as a university student in order to be successful. Okay? Building relationships with your professors. I talked about this quite a bit at the beginning of this stream, okay? Messaging other companies and building relationships with professionals that you think could be people that you can do informational interviews with, okay? Getting serious about LinkedIn and starting your LinkedIn profile. Starting a passion project around engineering. For example, the 1% Engineer Show and the 1% Engineer community, okay? It's just a passion project for me, right? And if I wanted to get a job in engineering and corporate engineering based on the momentum from this show, I certainly could. Or if I blogged about all types of biomedical solutions around COVID-19 and really put out content or started some sort of project around biomedical engineering in this time, I guarantee you I could get a biomedical engineering job at the end of 2020, okay? What type of online courses and what type of content, what type of education are you providing yourself? Coding boot camps, right? Are you consuming content? Are you learning? Are you leveling up your own personal education as you walk into your first year of engineering? These are the things that you should be thinking about. Yisa, let me know if that answers your question. Thank you so much for that question. Drop another one in the chat if you have it. Guys, again, if you're new in the chat, let me know where you're from, what type of engineering you're interested in, and what question you have right now. Josh E., 3 a.m. here in London. Thanks so much for hanging out. I'm glad that we can have insomnia together from across the pond. His question is, are there any fields of engineering that provide disadvantages in applying for engineering jobs? Currently studying biomedical engineering. I need to read your question again. Are there any fields of engineering that provide disadvantages? I don't understand your question, okay? I understand it's 3 a.m. there and your brain may not be working as well, but I don't really understand. I think what you're getting at is, are there engineering fields that have disadvantages today? Which ones should you be potentially avoiding? I think that's what you're asking. But Josh E., I'm going to wait for you to come back in the chat before I respond to that. Moses, what are your thoughts on photonics engineering? I need to research that and figure out exactly what that is before I respond to that. Let me know. Photonics engineering is most likely just like mechatronics engineering or one of these very niche engineering fields. Photonics engineering is most likely the intersection of two types of engineering fields. And before one of you drops it in the chat, I'm just going to go ahead and Google it and figure out what it is, and then I can most likely provide you. A photonics engineer is someone who creates and improves systems and products that use photonics, lasers, optics, fiber optics, and imaging. Great. Why didn't you just say that? So I think photonics engineering is a great field because it uses things that aren't going away. Things like lasers and fiber optics. Fiber optics is still the cutting edge imaging technology. Everybody's still using coax cable, which is like 60, 70 years old, guys. It's literally just a copper wire that creates the conductivity to send this broadcast signal to all the homes in America. Photonics engineering, I think, is a good field. Thank you for asking that question. Any ideas for fun projects for engineering students? Thank you so much, Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero, what is your age again? Were you the one who said you were 12? Because I get so many, or I see so many questions about engineering student projects, and they seem to be for like middle school students and high school students. They're basically looking for things to build and things to do and things to create while they're at home, and things to basically create a portfolio to figure out if they are passionate about engineering, if that is for them. I don't necessarily have any projects for engineering students, but this is what I think you should do right now. If you Google engineering projects or engineering students and COVID-19, engineering students and coronavirus response. There are so many things that engineers are up to right now, that students are contributing toward the relief of this pandemic, that if you can create a project, if you can create a website, if you can create an episodic series, a podcast, a series of videos, a blog, or even just work on something that only takes 20 to 40 hours and build something and create the ability to talk about this project that did some sort of relief effort during COVID-19, making masks, making face shields. If I Google, I did this earlier, guys, if I Google engineering student projects COVID-19, here are the news articles, okay? Engineering students for caring to patients. Tough engineering students make masks. UTC engineering students put senior projects on hold to help healthcare workers. Senegal's engineering students design machines to fight COVID-19. These are all articles that have come out in the last couple of days. Design Day, successful virtual event. Student teams to present results for global projects. UT Dallas response, lab projects for COVID-19. Guys, there are so many things that you can get up to right now. All you have to do is get inspired by other project ideas and basically find a way to copy and use success that they've had to find your own success. Pablo Picasso said it best: real artists copy, but the best artists steal. So figure out what's working for people, for engineers out there who are creating a name for themselves, who are garnering experience and being able to say, hey, look at what I did in 2020, and basically do the similar things that they have been doing. Thanks so much for stopping by, guys. Brian, shout out to you. Conrad, again, thank you. Rochelle, thank you. Yissa, Jeffrey, thank you. Sub-Zero, keep dropping in the questions, guys. I don't even know how long this live stream has been going for. I think we're at like 45 minutes or so, but I used to stream for a long time, so I'm planning on just doing that here for a while. Lola, thanks, Jake. Looking forward to more videos on chemical engineering. Thank you so much. Kudos, she says. Brian says, do you have any words of wisdom for a rising senior in mechanical engineering program? Yes, a rising senior who wants to do what? I want specific questions, guys, so I can give you specific, actionable advice. I'm from North Carolina, Brian says, and I'm a rising senior in mechanical engineering. Great. Love that. Love that. Conrad, I'm enjoying the engineering mindset, but don't think I could handle a set traditional job. Do you think I could make it as a nomad with a nomadic lifestyle in tech and future stuff? That's a great question. Absolutely. So, Conrad, I think if you want to have a nomadic lifestyle, guys, which what that means is that you basically work remotely, and now after COVID-19, there's going to be more opportunities to work remotely and live wherever you want and work wherever you want, basically. All you need is a strong internet connection and a decent laptop. I think there's going to be more opportunities to do this than ever before, post-COVID-19, okay? And the piece of advice, Conrad, I have for you around this is that the more coding and programming, software development type experience that you have, I think you have even more opportunities to do this well. Because most coders, most software developers, they work remotely. And so you don't have to actually test a physical product. You don't have to work with an actual physical team face to face. You can literally just develop things remotely. And so I think if you're a mechanical engineer or any type of engineer who is interested in working remotely, you need to beef up your programming and your coding skills. It would be an advantage for sure. Rochelle, materials engineering is a new department at my university. Which university? I want to know. Do I think materials engineering has a lot of prospects? It used to be grouped together with chemical engineering. Interesting. Yeah, I think materials engineering is certainly still going to be quite good and strong as we move forward. Guys, materials engineering is this type of engineering. Okay, so this type of phone, all right, it has a physical component. It's made up of glass and metal and different things, and these composites, these items, these materials that we produce as engineers have to be tested, have to be developed, and it is a combination of like material strength and chemical engineering, and it's sort of this intersection of not really developing and designing a physical product, but it may even be like actually creating the chemical makeup of something. Think about an engineer who works on the thermal coating as a space shuttle reemerges into the atmosphere. Or think about a materials engineer who works on the structural element of a bullet. Or think about a materials engineer who needs to work on the glass for this iPhone that makes it streak-free, stain-free, highly conductive to human touch, and all the other properties that come along with the screen. I guarantee you this glass or this touch screen product is developed specifically for Apple's iPhones, and they hire materials engineers to design that product. That's something that a materials engineer might work on. And so the difference and the reason why chemical engineering still isn't in as well of a position as materials engineering is that chemicals are chemicals and almost always are synthetic and unhealthy for us as humans and for the environment, whereas materials engineering could use natural products that are actually from the earth, and we're just manipulating them in a different way. And it can be more beneficial to use materials science modified applications and products than physically creating them from our own chemistry, if that makes sense, guys. Keep dropping the questions in the chat. Rochelle, Squiddish Dude, thank you so much. Conrad, Abdulaziz, thanks so much for being here. Guilesome, let me know how to pronounce your names if I'm butchering them. I want to make sure that I get your questions right and I get your names right, guys. Thank you so much. Yisa says, thanks, I'm going to Cal Poly Pomona, majoring in aerospace engineering. That's fantastic. Took physics in junior year. That's fantastic. Drop questions in the chat, guys. Really appreciate the insights and the experience of your journey so far. Would love to hear questions so I can get right to them. Jeffrey Hen says, do I recommend entering engineering competitions or to spend more time studying or be more appealing? No. Okay, so the extracurriculars, great question, Jeffrey. So basically, Jeffrey's question is, do I spend more time to get better grades, or do I do things and get involved with engineering competitions, clubs, and other organizations? Okay, I left engineering with like a 2.9 GPA. All right, I got into grad school. I worked for the federal government. I got a private sector competitive engineering job right out of grad school after applying to a lot. I was able to work abroad. I was able to start my own engineering business. I've done all of this with a 2.9 GPA on an engineering degree. GPAs don't matter, okay? How smart you are doesn't matter. What matters is what you've done, what you know, and specifically within that, who you know, okay? So one of the things that you don't get if you sit there and study and get better grades and worrying about basically how you perform as an engineer, one thing that you never get along the way is you never make a relationship with that. You might create a better relationship with your professor along that journey, but that's not what's going to give you internship opportunities. That's not what is going to get you in the door when you're getting invited to do a interview for an internship or an opportunity, or you're going to get flown into school just like I did to see if you're going to be the right fit for grad school. These aren't things like your GPA. Yeah, it shouldn't be 2.9. Did I put 2.9 on my resume? No, I lied, and I put 3 point something that was over 2.9, but it was fine, okay? But it wasn't a 4.0 that got me in the door. It wasn't a 3.8 that got me in the door. In fact, most students who have between a 3.6 and a 4.0, who are higher than a 3.5, or higher than Dean's List, which is typically a 3.33, they are actually not. It's actually a red flag. I don't want to hire a 4.0. A 4.0 shows me that all you did was study. A 4.0 shows me that you don't have great social skills, and you prioritize reading your book than getting out there and figuring things out and meeting people. So I think you should prioritize engineering competitions, engineering clubs and organizations, and real-world experience, and don't sacrifice that opportunity by just hitting the books, guys. Sub-Zero says, I'm not the 12-year-old, but that's JB. Yeah, I know, it's okay. However, great. Okay, ask the question, guys. Gillisum, I study mechanical engineering. Want to do a double major in electrical, but I'm not sure if I would do it or not. Okay, guys, so based on Gillisum, the way that your name is spelled, I'm assuming that you are European. But over here in the West, over here in America, guys, there's basically no point in double majoring in engineering. No point. Absolutely none. The only reason why you might is because you're an electrical engineer who wants to double major in computer engineering, because the programs are typically so similar that with just one extra class or two extra classes, you can double major, okay? There is no opportunity that's going to look at your resume and say, oh, double major, great, we want to hire this person. Because still, when you're leaving university as an engineer, you don't know anything. You don't know how to use the softwares that you're going to use full-time. You don't know how to really design anything. You've never made any mistakes. You don't know anything. You don't know how to communicate professionally. You don't know anything, okay? And so that double major is basically like 0 plus 0 equals 0. That's what it is. Guys, if you are getting valuable major advice from this video, hit the like button. I want to see more than 13. I don't want to see unlucky number 13 on the like buttons from here, okay? So what you need to be doing, instead of double majoring, instead of spending more money, instead of spending more time, is get more experience. Build more relationships with people who can give you internships. Do more informational interviews, build your Rolodex, work on a project, work on some sort of side precursor engineering project. That's what you need to be doing. You don't want to be double majoring. No one is impressed with a double major. Trust me, again, a double major today on a resume is a little bit like a 4.0. It's like, this nerd, this bookworm, this person. Thanks for the likes, guys. Guys, keep hitting that like button if you haven't already. This nerd, this person is not going to be able to communicate. They're not going to be able to have a social lifestyle with our team. They're not even going to be able to communicate with me very well if this is the decision maker, if this is the person hiring you, okay? So they don't want to see double major. Don't double major. Don't double major. And only consider double majoring if you can do it without spending an extra semester and without extra money, like the electrical and computer science double majoring example. Okay, Abdulaziz, thanks so much for the question. University student finishing freshman year, have to pick my major for freshman year onward, and I am torn between computer and industrial engineering. Wow, what a different set of engineerings. Abdulaziz, I want to make sure you're still here before really diving in. I see you dropping more questions, so Abdulaziz, industrial engineering and computer engineering are dramatically different. So I think you've either been misguided or somehow you are confused. So I almost want to hear from you, what is your dream job? What do you want to do after college? And then I will know which one of these is for you. So industrial engineering is a little bit of a weird one. You can work on manufacturing engineering. You can work on human factors engineering, for example. There's a reason why the go button is green and the red and the stop button is red, because these are things that we've trained our brains in manufacturing to not have to think about it and do the right thing. Industrial engineers are responsible for that. Now, computer engineers use considerable more coding. Okay, you don't use any coding necessarily for industrial engineering. Computer engineers are actually developing new computer systems and applications and computer items, physical new technologies and nanobots and things that are within mechatronics projects, robotics projects that are you're actually making something in a computer engineering realm. Industrial engineers don't work on that, okay? They don't work on that. It's very different. So let me know what type of job you think is your dream, Abdulaziz, and we can talk a little bit about this. But this is probably the first time I've ever gotten that question, industrial engineering versus computer engineering, because they're just not the same at all. Conrad says, what type of engineering is best for software development, coding, and programming? Okay, so here's what you need to know, okay? So a lot of people don't understand the difference between computer science, programming, and software development, okay? So software development, also what is software engineering, all right, is making new software, okay? Building a new software project. Okay, if you're a mechanical engineer, you make a new mechanical item. If you're a civil engineer, you build a new civil engineering project. You make a bridge. You make a building. If you are a chemical engineer, you develop or design a new chemical application, okay? So you can be a computer scientist and never actually make a new product, never actually make a new software application. You can be a computer scientist. Software engineering is a part of computer science, okay? You can be a data scientist and never develop a software product or a mobile product or an application, okay? But that's a part of computer science, all right? You could be a programmer. You could program this or that or modify code or modify programming and never actually be an analyst, never actually be a data scientist, and never actually develop software. So all of these things are cousins and fall under the computer science realm, but they're considerably different. Okay, and this is the final thing I'll say about this. This is why I'm a huge stickler for computer scientists or programmers or software developers who are not engineers, who call themselves a software engineer. Okay, only the people who have invested in that 4-year degree to become software engineers can call themselves a software engineer, okay? Because it's different. It's still, again, guys, if you're an engineer, you sit at the top. You sit at the top of the pyramid. You're given the most respect, the most income, the most potential for career advancement, because that's just how it is. It's the hardest one to accumulate, and that's just how it is. Okay, Rochelle, so I go to UC. That's great. Math, MSE just became an official department this year. That is fantastic. Squishy Dude, what advice would you give to undergraduate interns working remotely to make the most out of their experience? Squishy Dude, build the best relationship with your professor that you possibly can. Let them know that you're going above and beyond with your additional time and allocation of resources. You can do more research. You can put in more effort to support their projects. Okay. Really be serious about your LinkedIn profile right now, because there are so few people who are under 25 who take that seriously. You'll stand out if people are searching for you. And learn more online. Take more courses. Do boot camps. Do things that are going to intensify your education at a more accelerated pace this year while you are doing that internship. Okay. Abdulaziz, would both options be okay? CS and AI later. I'm trying to define my interest. Okay, so when I have chain questions, guys, it's hard for me because I answered your question and then answered a couple others. Abdulaziz, if you have a new question, drop a new question in the chat. I'm a little bit confused. Okay. Jeffrey Henn says, I want to get into mechanical engineering and I'm going to college next year, and I got into the honors program. Great, congratulations. Should I choose to live in the college engineering? No, you don't want to live in the honors dorm. Okay. So I went to college with a bunch of smart guys, and when I ended up living with the same, there was 4 of us. We were the same roommates for sophomore and junior year. When Mike was my roommate, when Mike was a freshman, he lived in the honors dorms, and we used to go and pregame and party in his dorms, and we used to get the RA called on us every single time. We got in trouble every single time. Him and his roommate got a strike one night. Okay, the honors dorms are not what you want. So if all you want is an actual academic study, no, you don't want this. Okay, you don't trust me. Like if you don't want to talk to a single person and you're basically like a student with autism and you don't want a social life at all, and that's totally fine, then honors dorm, go to honors dorms. But if you want to have a regular life, if you want to meet regular engineers, if you want to meet regular friends, if you want to not get in trouble for playing music above volume like 35%, don't live in honors dorms. Okay, I got in trouble in honors dorms. You don't want that to be you. All right. Abdulaziz says, exactly not sure. Guys, I need you to be specific in each and every message, because I go from answering a question to totally being distracted from the prior messages, and I really dive in. So if you don't basically, each question needs to be a standalone question, Abdulaziz, okay? That's been multiple messages that I'm not able to respond to. I need more specificity, more detail. Daft Tracks, I appreciate the questions, just make them more detailed. Dash Tracks, I want to get into energy and the energy industry. Great. Majoring in chemical engineering and thinking of getting a master's degree in systems or an MBA. What do you recommend? Great. So, good question. God, these questions are so amazing to me, how challenging it is to know what to do. When to me, it's so straightforward. Okay. So, in your engineering career, you have 2 different avenues for the potential of your career. Okay. You either become a technical expert and you become the best at the softwares and the ways to troubleshoot things, and you, again, become a technical thought leader and a true, powerful expert in that. Or you're destined for a project management and a leadership, a communicator type of role, okay? So for me, someone like me who is not necessarily a technical leader, my strengths are communication, my strengths are managing a team, my strengths are managing and juggling relationships with customers and clients and partners. Am not the best fit to get a master's of science, a technical master's. I should have got my MBA. I realized that like 6 months into grad school that in being in a program that was for a master's of science in civil engineering, I was in the wrong thing. I realized. So learn from my advice, guys. Learn from my experience. I should have gotten an MBA because for my personality and my skill set, I'm not going to be a technical, just sit and explore and do R&D. I'm going to be a communicator. I'm going to be a project manager. I'm going to be a team leader. And so MBA is the passion, or it is the route for people who are passionate about that. Let's see here, guys. Dash Track, a couple more shout outs. Ed Smith, thanks for stopping by. Abdul Aziz, thanks again. Don't worry about the chats. I just the biggest thing I'm thinking about, because there's been 25 people here on Peak, is just like I don't want to have to read a question and it not be a real question. I just want every single message in the chat to be a question because I'm getting to them. Let's see here. Ed says, with the extra free time at home right now, what activities would you recommend doing to gain and improve skills and prepare for next semester? That's right. That's technically what this stream is all about. My top 5 tips for that, and I've talked about it here and there tonight, are build relationships with your professors. I had 5 different professors changed my life in ways that I never would have expected in undergrad. I graded for them, I supported them, I spent more time with them, I made them look good, and because of these relationships with professors, I got into grad school, I became a grader. It was amazing. So if you ask for 15-minute meetings with professors right now, you will get them, all right? And you will be able to buy your ability to ask for opportunities and connections later on, okay? I think you should, that's tip number 1. I think you should be messaging companies. I think you should be trying to get more practical experience, because there are engineering companies right now that are responding to the medical crisis, that are responding to the food distribution crisis, that are making masks, that are working on vaccines, that are doing all types of things to respond to this pandemic that is COVID-19, that would certainly take your involvement and support if you message them, okay? Start your own project. Tip number 3, start your own project. Start your own blog. Start your own website. Start your own something that is you communicating your thought leadership around the industry that you think you want to focus on for your career, okay? Tip number 4, get serious about your LinkedIn profile, okay? Go look at mine, find my LinkedIn profile, okay? And just copy that, all right? Make a banner, talk about all the different organizations and the different roles that you have, and make your description and everything around your LinkedIn profile as attractive and compelling as you possibly can, okay, guys? If you're getting value from this stream so far, guys, hit the like button. I really want to make sure that more people see this before I drop tip number 5 for surging ahead in your career during COVID-19, and that is finally to support and galvanize more of your skill sets in your learning. There are so many online courses for free and content for free, and blitz courses and accelerators and boot camps that you can participate in and learn from for free to bolster your resume right now. These are the top 5 things that I think you should be doing. Forging professor relationships, pushing them ahead, messaging companies about opportunities to volunteer, starting your own project, starting your own thought leadership and episodic series on something around engineering, getting serious around your LinkedIn profile, and finally taking as many online courses and consuming content as you possibly can, guys. That's what you should be doing during COVID-19 as an engineering student with more free time. Can software engineers be a nomadic lifestyle? Absolutely, Conrad. We talked about this a little bit earlier. Software engineers are most likely the most likely and highest candidate for a nomadic, work from home, be wherever you want type of career, because you can code from anywhere. All you need is a laptop and a decent internet connection, and you can be a software engineer from anywhere you want. Mochi, thanks for coming by. Henrod, thanks for coming by. Court, thanks for stopping by. Thanks so much, guys. If you're just getting in here, let me know what type of engineering that you are focused on, where you're from, and what question you have, and we can jump right into that. Mochi says, what advice do I have for a freshman in college majoring in engineering? What type of engineering? Okay, who can use some extra practice with math? What is it like starting off? Okay, the best advice I have for you for math is to study calculus and Calc 2 as much as you can. Calculus 2 is going to be your most challenging math subject and most challenging math class in engineering. That's the only class that I got a D in and had to retake. So just get ready for Calculus 2. That's the hardest one. Once you get into engineering maths and the differential equations and things like that, it's not as hard, but Calc 2 was nuts. Taylor series and sequences is crazy. So just get ready for that and do anything you can to basically familiarize yourself. So you're not learning in class, you're reviewing in class, and you're taking notes, and it's not the first time you've seen this content. You're literally just identifying what you already have learned and securing an approach to problems and securing a method for engineering solution finding rather than learning in class, okay? And this goes for anybody who is an engineering student, but if you review your course content before you step into all of your engineering courses, again, you're participating in a review instead of a lecture. It's not the first time. You're not learning, you are reviewing. So this is the way to be successful right now, guys. Naval engineering, Henrod, fantastic, a sort of specific niche. I think it's a great avenue to go on. We're never going to, like, the water's not going anywhere. 75-80% of our planet is covered with water. That's not going anywhere. So if you're passionate about naval engineering, I think that's a decent avenue for you. Structural or transportation stream for civil engineering, it all depends, Court. It all depends. I did transportation, okay? Structural is the most common and most desired because we need more engineers to build buildings and bridges than any other type of civil engineer. So it all depends on what you are attracted to. I think that's most important. Guys, keep dropping your questions in the chat. 28 of you. I think we're at a stream all-time high. Hit the like button if you are just dropping by and entering into this chat, and let me know what type of engineer you want to be and what questions you have within your engineering journey right now. Kyle Randall, could you explain what a co-op is and whether or not it's worth it or not? And are you still taking courses while you're in a co-op? What a great question. Kyle, I am going to open up my engineering ideas for videos right now and make sure that I make a video about that, because I actually don't have a video about it, and that is a great question, because an engineering co-op program is something that is very powerful if you enter into one of those programs. And if you understand its use and understand its advantages and understand how if it's a 5-year program, almost always there's an extra year, why it may be worth it and why you should be looking at it. What a great question. Thank you so much. Okay, guys, so let's talk about engineering co-op program really quickly. All right, so typical engineering programs, they last for 4 or 5 years, and it's up to you to get experience to find research opportunities and to find internships. But if you go to a university, for example, Drexel in Philadelphia has a very powerful co-op program, all right? It's a 5-year program, and what co-ops do is they provide you an ecosystem to get you that experience so that you don't have to find it on your own. So instead of it just being 4 years, what it is 5, and in your 4th year, the first half of that 4th year is education, and then the second half is experience. So they help match you with an employer where you can get an internship to explore that experience that you seek at the time. And then in year 5, same thing. You have half a year of academics, and half a year of a co-op. So you do 3 regular years of university, and then a half year of university with internship, and then another half year of university with internship. So you essentially graduate with the same academic focus as a 4-year typical program, but now you have up to 2 different internships that are guaranteed. And if you look at the data around co-op programs, the likelihood that they have full-time hires who are leaving their program afterwards is much higher. The likelihood of success, the heightened aspect of salaries leaving their programs are higher. It's a much more powerful way to do engineering. And most likely all engineering programs should be co-op programs, but they're not. So if you have a co-op program that's in-state, you're not paying more to get access to it, or you have the ability to go to a co-op engineering school for free because you have scholarships or grant opportunity or something, and that school offers the type of engineering that you are interested in. For example, I don't think you should go to a co-op school if you are like 100% on a type of engineering and they don't have it, and you choose that school because they have a co-op opportunity. I think that's the wrong choice. But if it's in-state, if you don't pay an extra arm and a leg, if they have your engineering focus, then I think co-op is the way to go nowadays, guys. I think it's a great option and something that you should highly consider. Conrad, thanks again. Thanks so much. Jeffrey Henn says, I have sold a couple of niche inventions. Should I focus on selling things or scholarships to pay for college? So, Jeffrey, if you're somebody who is able to actually become a young entrepreneur and fuel your way through college based on the income that you have, then I don't think you should go to college. I think that what you figured out is so unique that if you're able to make enough money to fund your way through college right now, then you shouldn't go to college. Hit that like button if you understand what that means. If you are young enough to figure out business models and entrepreneurship strategies such that you can make enough money to fund yourself through college, I don't think you should go to college. And I also think that it's so challenging to do that this is a dream or a potential for you. I highly doubt you have, sorry to question you, but this is just a reality of the matter, but I highly doubt you have some sort of revenue generation system now or situation now. I just don't see it. If so, good for you, but maybe specify in the chat what you're talking about, because that's the whole point of going to college. The whole point of going to college is to give you an education and give you the tools to make money later, okay? If you can figure out how to do it before going to college, if you can figure out how to do it and then drop out of college like all these tech startup people do, then what do you need college for? What do you need college for? Conrad Ernst says, when trying to cultivate my perfect career, should I be well-rounded and have business college classes as well, or strictly engineering? Again, Conrad, it depends. Rachel, thanks so much for stopping by. I'm going to get to your question right now. Guys, if you are just showing up to the chat, hit the like button so that more engineers can find it, and make sure you drop what type of engineering you're interested in and what your question is. Conrad, I think that, again, if you are going to be a manager, if you're going to be a communicator, if you're going to try to rise to the top of the C-suite of your engineering field and employer, if you want to be a leader, basically, then taking more business courses, taking more project management courses is going to be very important and valuable. But if you're going to be a technical leader, then doing things that are specifically within your technical niche and learning more about softwares and learning more about the actual industry technically is your focus. You don't need to learn the business classes. So again, you have to figure out who you are. Are you a communicator? Are you going to be a team leader? Or are you going to be a technical expert? Choose that path, and that will help you dictate your courses and how you spend your time and how you invest yourself. Sub-Zero says, how do we stay informed about developments in engineering? Follow this channel. Honestly, like I have a plan, and I think I produce more cutting-edge career content on engineering majors than 99.9% of content mediums and news applications, because one of the reasons why all of you are here is that there is no one helping STEM majors in high school choose the right major. There is no one helping college engineers understand if they're in the right ecosystem and how to have a successful road during and after university. There's basically no one talking about this. There's all these people saying be a STEM major and be an engineer and be a this and be a that, but there's basically no one helping you guys with career options and feats and navigating that part of your life. And that's why this is a successful community. That's why this channel has 2.5 million views, because it's needed. Rachel, thanks so much, guys. If you have another question, I'm probably going to be clipping. Samuel, thanks so much for showing up. Guys, if you have another question, drop it in the chat, because probably just after 11 o'clock, maybe 11:15 or so, I'll stream for another 15-20 minutes, but I'll be clipping this live stream. So make sure you get your questions in the chat, guys, so I can answer those. Do I have any advice about grad school, master's in engineering? Rachel, this has been talked about a couple times tonight. I don't think you need to do it. I only think you should do it if you can get it paid for. If you, just like I did, if you can have somebody who wants to pay you to be a researcher and in turn trades that investment for full funding and full tuition for a grad school. That's what a graduate research assistantship is called. You can also be a teacher's aide, a teacher's assistant, and you could help a professor by basically being their assistant, and that makes you a TA. It's a little less common in engineering. Most engineering grad school paid opportunities come along with you being a researcher, a research assistant, so that you are basically working full-time 30 to 40 hours a week in a lab, conducting research and writing papers while they fund all your tuition, your healthcare, your everything. Guys, that only then should you look at grad school, because I think most engineers can get a great degree, can get a great salary with their undergraduate degree. I really don't think you need to go to get a master's. Only if you really want to amplify your technical ability, or if you want to stand out as a leader and get your MBA. That is different. Let's see here. Samuel says, thanks so much. Mochi, thanks again. Mohammed, thanks for showing up. Samuel says, what other kinds of jobs can I apply for as an electrical or civil engineering major besides engineering? So if you have an electrical engineering degree, or if you have a civil engineering degree, you can basically do whatever you want. Okay, if you leave those sectors, you can get whatever job you want. Like, engineers are eligible for whatever they want, because people know that you're smarter than average. People know that you can troubleshoot and problem solve. People know that you can work as a team. People know that you can work with big budget assignments. Honestly, that's why engineering majors make the most money and they're the most respected, because it's the most powerful major you can have. So Samuel, I have a feeling that wasn't the answer you're looking for. It seems like you're interested in a specific type of job that you might apply for with an electrical or a civil engineering major. Let me know what that specific job is, and I can answer your question a little bit more directly. Mohammed says, does mechatronics engineering a good major if I put my love and hard work into it? First of all, Mohammed, if you put your love and hard work, this goes for all engineers, if you put your love and hard work into any major, into any topic, into anything that you're trying to do, you will be successful. That's actually the original proponent to success, is you have to show up, you have to dedicate, you have to make sure that this is worth it and that you want it and you're passionate about it, and it's going to give you that value back. Because if you show up with that, you put in your love and your hard work, you will be successful. So if you guarantee before approaching and embarking on something that is the case, that's what you want, then you're going to be successful. Okay? That's the last of the questions here, guys. I'm going to stay live here for a couple more minutes and inquire or encourage a couple final more questions, and otherwise we'll be clipping the stream here pretty soon. Drop it in. You can get a finance tech job with some sort of engineering degree. It just depends. What financial technology jobs, or fintech is what they call it, financial technology, what fintech occupations and what fintech people are looking for is for you to be a coder. They want you to be a software developer. They want you to be able to get under the hood and either manipulate or develop new software applications or features or web apps for their business line. That's what you have to do in order to get a job in fintech. Molly, thanks so much for the tip. Guys, if you're getting value from the stream, hit the like button. I want to make sure that this is a valuable stream. I'm going to start streaming. I did this randomly with no thumbnail and with no announcement, I think Tuesday night, and I'm just not seeing, I had double or 60% more participation. I don't think this Sunday night stream is working. I think everybody goes to bed early, so we're not going to be doing Sunday anymore, but I would love for you guys to participate and let me know in the chat what is the right date. What is the right time for you guys for this live stream? What do you want to see? Let me know. Any tips for recent grads looking for jobs in major mechanical engineering? Absolutely. Build relationships with your professors. This is what this video was all about. Set up your LinkedIn in the best way you possibly can. Message companies to offer volunteer work and efforts during COVID. Start a project, start your own episodic project, start your own thought leadership and expertise within your engineering, and galvanize your education and forge it ahead as much as you possibly can by taking online courses and consuming as much content as you possibly can right now. Conrad, would a business major and leader of a technical engineer be best for a nomadic life after college? You have all these nomadic life type questions after college. Would a business manager / leader of a technical engineer be or a technical engineer be best? So you cannot be a business manager and be a team leader and work remotely. Only if you run your own thing and you want to be an entrepreneur, it's far more likely that you can work remotely being a designer or a coder type person. But if you're managing a team, it's very, very hard to do that remotely. Okay, guys. So I think I'm going to be clipping this live stream right here, guys. If you have another question, how can I make an effective resume? Samuel, here's what I want you to do. I have a video about making great engineering resumes. Search that on YouTube. You'll find it. Do engineering resume Jake Voorhees. You'll find it. And I think I will make another video about resumes if I have more questions. Final questions here. Jeffrey says, how important do you think it is to continue relationships with college, high school, and middle school teachers? Only the high school teachers who are ballers and connected to the professional industry. Middle school, don't care about those. Only the nostalgia of the ones that you had good relationships with. But in terms of a successful career, tip number one for success after college is professor relationships. I literally just recorded a video tonight about my top 5 examples of things that I did in college and tips about how you can follow suit to forge better relationships with your professors, because that strategy changed my life. Okay, I think it's very important. It's very important to keep in touch. Only an email every 3-4 months is all you need, and you can maintain that relationship forever. Andrew says, I'm a Chem E student, very interested in environmental, but job prospects seem to be more for Chem E rather than environmental. There are environmental engineering jobs out there, by the way, because my degree is technically civil and environmental engineering. Do I think it would be better to try environmental or stay with chemical? I really, as you may have heard earlier in the stream, I'm really not optimistic about the future of chemical engineering in general, because with nanobots and more sustainable non-chemical engineering practices, chemical engineering is on the decline. However, as you can see, with what is happening on our planet, environmental engineering is more important than ever before. So I think if you are interested in environmental and you are attracted towards that, I think drifting towards environmental engineering is certainly not a bad idea. So guys, the 20 of you watching right now, leave any other questions on other videos about what you want to figure out in engineering. Thank you so much for being a part of this live stream. Hit the like button if you haven't yet, guys. Stay tuned for another video. The next one that I'm releasing is called Jobs for Mechanical Engineering, for mechanical engineers, where I lay out the top 5 cool types of positions and potential avenues for you in your mechanical engineering career, guys. Thanks so much for being a part of this. What I'm really trying to make sure you guys do is subscribe and hit the bell. Hit that bell. The 20 of you and the people who are watching this rebroadcast, I want to make sure that you guys get notified and you get that little bell indicator when I actually go live. Okay, thanks so much, Jeffrey. Thanks so much, Andrew. Really important. Who's still here? Mochi, thanks so much. How would you go about choosing a subfield for engineering? Henrod, Nick Williams, thanks so much. Who's still here? I want to give shout outs to you guys. Drop it in the chat below. Mochi, I think the best way to choose a subfield of engineering is to make sure that the type of engineering that you focus on, you're interested in. So gauge your interest and look at how you spend your time. Look at what your value system is. Guys, if you're still here, drop a hi in the chat. I want to know who's here. I want to give you guys some final shout outs before I wrap this up and close down this stream in 2-3 minutes. Thanks again, Sub-Zero. Thank you so much. I really appreciate all the questions. Samuel, thank you so much. Can I make a video about jobs that engineers can do besides engineering? That is a great idea. I like that so much. Het Patel, thanks so much. I don't know what your question is. Yo, what's guanin? What's guanin? I don't know what that means, but it sounds cool. So about to clip this chat. Just let me know who's still in here. Give you a shout out and see you guys again in another video. Lola, thanks so much for stopping by. See you guys. See you guys. Samuel, want to know how to be versatile. Engineering degrees are the most versatile degrees of all time. You can literally get into anything you want. You can get into law school, you can get into any humanities, you can get into any mathematics, you can get into any financial, you can get into almost all career fields and applications and types of jobs with an engineering degree, because engineering literally means problem solving, and they know that you can figure out that task at hand and that job at hand with an engineering degree. So thanks again, guys, for checking out this stream. If you haven't subscribed already, make sure you subscribe. What up, JC? And hit the bell, because I'm going to be going live randomly before I figure out some sort of schedule. Need to figure out the right time. It doesn't seem. Eunice, thanks so much. Hey, bro. Thanks so much. Give this video a like, this live stream. Make sure you guys hit that bell. If you're not already subscribed, because I'm back, hit that bell, because I'm trying to do 2 videos a week, and also do at least 1, maybe even more live streams. So I want to get this community back. I'm back. So make sure you guys are liking videos when they come out. Make sure you guys are commenting. Gilsum, thank you so much. Make sure you guys are commenting on videos. Do you understand how important, if you want to see this community thrive, if you want to see this channel succeed, liking videos and commenting on things is such a powerful way to support this. So thank you so much, guys. I'm about to actually clip this stream now. We've been going for about 90 minutes or about 80 minutes. Thanks so much, guys. See you again in another video. If you want a video just for you, make sure you leave a comment on any YouTube video. If you want to join the Facebook group, follow the links in the description. And if you want the 1% Engineer Kit, which is 5 ebooks and some resume templates for your engineering success, follow the links below. Thanks again for watching the 1% Engineer Show, guys, and stay hungry on your quest to become a 1% engineer. We'll see you again in another video. So cheers. Bye-bye.